There is no denying Sadio Mane's elite status. In 2019, the Senegalese winger was Ballon d'Or's 4th best player, and the following year, FIFA also named him 4th best in the world. Today, the Senegalese has won practically every trophy on both home and team level. But his journey to the top wasn't easy. It was tough. So tough that it's a miracle he even got to play the game professionally. And in this video, we're going to dive into his story. How did Sadio Mane go from a village boy to international footballing superstar? Early life. Born on the 10th of April 1992 in the small town of Sedoy, Senegal, Sadio Mane grew up in abject poverty in the even smaller village of Bambali. By the time Mane was 7, he lost his father to an undisclosed illness, and his mother struggled to take care of him and his siblings. It was so bad that they could hardly get food, and his mother couldn't afford to send Sadio Mane to school. So he was sent to live with his uncle, who also resided in Bambali. It was during this time that Mane fell in love with football. However, this was a problem because the sport wasn't a sustainable profession in Senegal at the time. His mum and uncle wanted him to become a teacher, but young Mane refused to give up on his love for the sport. He worked odd jobs and used his wages to travel long distances to other towns just to play games. In the year 2002, when Sadio Mane was just 10 years old, along with everyone in the country, watched their national team pull off the impossible. In Senegal's first appearance in the World Cup, they defeated defending champions France in their opening game and got to the quarter-finals of the competition. This feat was enough to change the perspective of Mane's family towards the sport that he loved, and over time, they allowed him to pursue football as a career. Career journey from Dakar to Liverpool. However, to make that possible, Mane had to move to the country's capital city, Dakar, where there was more exposure and of course more opportunities. His uncle and parents sold all the crops from their farms to raise money for Mane to fund his journey, and neighbours within the village also contributed. When they arrived in Dakar, Mane and his uncle went to the city's most popular club for football trials. At first, the scout didn't take Mane seriously because his footwear and shorts were tattered. However, the moment Mane began his trials, his skills more than compensated for his lack of proper kit. Mane was immediately drafted to the academy, where his impressive skills paid off once again, scoring over 100 goals in just 90 appearances. Following that meeting, Mane was directed to Generation Foot, Dakar's main club, that had a great history with sourcing Senegalese talents. It was at this club that the European dream started to materialize. Upon spotting Mane's impressive skills, French football scouts took him to France and enlisted him in the French club Metz. But things didn't turn out as expected at Metz. He made just 22 appearances for the Liga side and scored just 3 goals. But there were good reasons for his slump in performance. The culture shock from the sudden move from Senegal to France was one, and he'd also injured his pelvis at the time. To make matters worse, Metz were eventually relegated from the French top flight that season. However, this disappointment turned into a blessing because Red Bull Salzburg came calling and signed Mane for £3.5 million. And it was at the Austrian club that Mane would make a name for himself, scoring 45 goals in 87 games during his 2 seasons with the club. As expected, several European clubs showed interest, and he ended up signing for Ronald Koeman's Southampton for a hefty sum of €10 million. Once again, Mane was an instant success for the Saints. In his debut season with them, he scored 21 goals in 67 appearances and attracted the attention of Jurgen Klopp, who had just begun coaching Liverpool at the time. In 2016, Mane signed for Liverpool. His £34 million deal was the most expensive deal ever for an African footballer at the time. But it was worth it, because it was at Liverpool that Sadio Mane would elevate his career to elite status. Club and country. In a short period, Mane established himself as a fan favourite in Liverpool. His goals and his unmatchable work rate secured a Champions League spot for them in his first season, with Mane finishing as Liverpool's second highest goal scorer. Mane also achieved a lot of success with Liverpool in terms of silverware. He literally won every title at club level, including the UEFA Champions League, English Premier League, FA Cup, Carabao Cup, UEFA Super Cup, and the Club World Cup. In 269 appearances, Mane scored 120 goals while picking up 38 assists. But Liverpool weren't the only ones who benefited from Mane's footballing brilliance. At the African Nations Cup finals against Egypt, Sadio Mane scored the winning penalty to earn his nation the Continental Trophy. Then, a few months later, he would once again score the winning penalty that ensured Senegal had a place in the upcoming 2022 World Cup. Move to Bayern Munich. Despite Mane's impressive run in Liverpool, and as his contract with the Reds drew to a close, transfer rumours linked him to the Bayern side. At first, it was hard to believe. But then, news surfaced that the Senegalese national was having contract disputes with Anfield. Apparently, he wanted higher wages, but the English club refused to budge. So, Sadio laid the decision to leave on a public online poll in Senegal and reportedly said, "I'll do what they want." Eventually, an overwhelming majority of people voted for him to leave Liverpool, and he stood by his words, moving to the German side Bayern Munich in a bid worth over €35 million. Impact on Liverpool. So far, Liverpool appears to have suffered a lot from Mane's exit, and they're currently having a harder time winning games than they did last season. His supposed replacement, Darwin Núñez, hasn't settled well in the league and hasn't made any significant impact so far. But that's not all. Sadio seems to have also suffered from the move. Judging by his current form and stats, it seems like Mane isn't all that happy at Bayern Munich either. German media personality Dietmar Hamann had this to say: "Mane doesn't look happy at the Allianz Arena and is yet to be played in his best position. He's not yet integrated. Time will tell if he will adjust to the team and his new role. Until then, Sadio is still a legend, both at the clubs he has played in and in his home country, specifically the village he grew up in." Contributions to Village. Despite his busy schedule, Sadio Mane has invested his time and money into the communities that stood by him in the days before he became a professional footballer. He donated £500,000 for the construction of a hospital in Bambali, and he donated another £41,000 to the Senegal government when the pandemic hit. He's also invested in education in his country. He recently donated £250,000 for the construction of a new secondary school in Bambali and gifted 300 Liverpool shirts to the young people there. Clearly, Sadio never forgot his roots, and he's led an exemplary life outside the pitch that is unlike anything you would expect from a high-earning football player. He has also kept his private life hidden from the press. Now, if there are any details about Mane's life that you think we've missed, let us know down in the comments. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.